Hello dear students, myself Ganga Bhosle, your statistics teacher. Today we are going to learn our unit number 4, that is testing of hypothesis. Now first we study about hypothesis. Hypothesis is an idea that is suggested as the possible explanation for something but has not yet been found to be true or correct. Okay? Then for this hypothesis there are two types of hypothesis. First one is null hypothesis and second one is alternative hypothesis. First one is null hypothesis and second one is our here alternative hypothesis. Alternative hypothesis. Now first, null hypothesis. The null hypothesis is statement which describes the normal and natural position of any variables. It is a statement turned opposite to alternative hypothesis. That is, null hypothesis is opposite to alternative hypothesis and alternative hypothesis is opposite to our null hypothesis. Here for example is given. If a government report says that the male farm worker in India receives wages of rupees 300 per day and female farm worker receives wages of rupees 250 per day, then the null hypothesis is our mu is equal to, this one is our mu. Mu is equal to, for male farm worker here rupees 300 per day, that is mu is equal to rupees 300, and for female farm worker there is rupees 250, that is their mu is equal to rupees 250 is our null hypothesis. Okay? Then alternative hypothesis. Alternative hypothesis is a statement proposed by researcher. It is a statement which is an answer for a research question. Okay? This statement is necessarily affirmative statement. Researcher accept that the testing of the hypothesis result in rejection of null hypothesis and acceptance of alternative hypothesis. That is, there is a researcher accept alternative hypothesis and reject their null hypothesis. For example, here continuing with example, that is this example. Okay? Here mu is not equal to rupees 300, that is, for male farm worker there are not receives rupees 300. So here we denote it as mu is not equal to rupees 300. Then if mu is not equal to rupees 300, then it could be that either mu is greater than 300 or mu is less than 300. Okay? So here when mu is not equal to 300, then we get either mu is greater than 300 or mu is less than 300. Similarly, for female workers, that is, if we consider mu is not equal to 250, then either mu is greater than 250 or mu is less than 250. This is our alternative hypothesis. For null hypothesis, there is exactly value, that is mu is equal to 300. Then for alternative hypothesis, we consider that mu is not equal to 300. Then either mu is equal to 300 or mu is greater than 300 or mu is less than 300. This is for male farm worker, and for female farm worker there is, for null hypothesis, mu is equal to 250, and for alternative hypothesis, if we consider mu is not equal to 250, then we get either mu is greater than 250 or mu is less than 250. Okay? Then process of formulation and testing of hypothesis. There are some steps. First one is our research issue. Second, statement of research problem. Then we have to consider hypothesis, that is either it is null hypothesis or it is alternative hypothesis. Then we have to find out research protocol. Then data collection, select the relevant test, decide on level of significance, degrees of freedom and one tail or two tail test. Then here we have to calculate test statistics, decision on the basis of test statistics. Above depicted the process of hypothesis formulation from step 1 to step 4 and from step 5 to step 9 are depicting hypothesis testing. Here in first step, here we have to research issue. Then in second step there is a statement of research problem, that is second step of formulation of hypothesis is we have to select appropriate set of category of research questions or a prioritized research questions from earlier step, that is step 1. While selecting questions for statement of problems, the evidence against question should be located. Then after this, that is in third step is stating the hypothesis, that is it is affirmative answer to the questions raised in step 2. Then to test the hypothesis we need to develop a research protocol, that is research design. This is our discussed earlier in next. Then the detailed document needs to prepare which guides research student in the voyage of research. These are the 4 important stages of formulation of hypothesis. Then here after this we have to collect the data, schedule appropriate including variables which are going to help the testing of hypothesis needs careful consideration. Data is collected, compiled and processed. When hypothesis is formulated, it needs to testing using appropriate statistical tools, that is steps 5 to 9. Then the suitable data needs to be collected and entered into worksheet for further process. These are our 5 steps method. Formulate the practical problem in terms of hypothesis. Then calculate statistics, choose a critical region, decide the size of critical region. Then conclusion, comparison of statistics with significance level. That is in step 1, that is formulate the practical problem in terms of hypothesis. The initial stage of hypothesis testing is formulation of hypothesis, that is we have to formulate our hypothesis in first step. Okay. Then in second step the statistical calculation is undertaken in this stage. Here we have to calculate our statistics under our conditions. The data for testing a hypothesis has already been collected. Then the appropriate statistical tool is to be selected, that is for example here chi-square test, t-test and like this. By selecting the test, besides scale of measurement and number of variables processed, the conditions to use the respective test also needs to be considered. After this, we have to choose a critical region, that is here there are right sided, left sided and both sided. When in right sided, this is our right tail test. This is our right tail test, that is so that here we have to reject H0 if the test statistics is greater than or equal to some, that is right critical value. Here the value, that is HA mu is greater than value. Then in left tail test, that is here we have a portion in left side like this, and in right tail test there is a portion in right side, okay. And in two tail test, that is here there is both in sided, that is in RHS also in LHS, okay. That is here first one is our right tail, second one is left tail, and third one is our two tail test. That is in right tail test the value is greater than given value, that is mu is greater than the given value, and in left tail test, that is mu is our less than value, and in two tail test there is mu is not equal to value, okay. Here left tail test, that is H1, that is parameter is less than value. For right tail test parameter, the value of parameter is greater than value, then H1 parameter not equal to value, okay. Here is example, the wages of female farm labor is less than 250 per day, that is the value of parameter, that is mu is less than 250. Then this one is our left tail test, and when female students studying in M.Com score more than first class, that is the value of mu is greater than 60, then this is our right tail test, and the average of a vehicle claimed by company is 20 kilometers per day, that is mu is equal to 20, this is our H0, and H1, that is mu is not equal to 20. So here we get two tail test, that is here we get value not equal to, that is either less than or equal, or sorry, either less than or greater than, less than or greater than. So here we studied about left tail test, right tail test, and two tail test, okay. Then we have to decide the size of critical region, that is the level of significance, that is either it is 1%, 5% or 10%. This is our level of significance. Then the confidence with which a null hypothesis is accepted or rejected depends upon the significance level U. That is, a significance level of 5% means that the risk of making a wrong decision is 5%. The researcher is likely to be wrong in accepting a false hypothesis or rejecting a true hypothesis in 5 out of 100 occasions. A significance level of 1% a significance level of 10% provides 90% confidence. Here two tail test, 1% level of significance, that is 2.58. This is our portion, okay, and this is two tail test. Similarly, for 5% level of significance, critical value is our 1.96, this one, and for 10% level of significance, here is our 1.645, this one, and this is our two tail test, okay. And for 1% level of significance, critical value is our 2.33, and this is our one tail test, this is, and for 5%, for 10%, okay. For critical value for two tail test, 1% is Z1 is equal to 2.58. For right tail test, Z1, that is value is plus 2.33. For left tail test, that is for like this, here is our, and this is our left tail test. So here we get value minus 2.33. Okay, this one Z1 is equal to minus 2.33. This is our left tail test. Similarly, for 5% Z1 is 1.96 for two tail test, and for right tail test is 1.645, and for left tail test this one is our Z1 is equal to minus 1.645. Similarly for 10%. Then in step 5 we have to conclusion, comparison of statistics with significance level. After working out steps now, we have with us two values, one is standardized critical value and another is calculated value. Then here we have to take decisions whether to reject the null hypothesis or otherwise. Then there are type 1 and type 2 error in hypothesis testing. For example, the candidate I am selecting is the best candidate for a teacher and he has selected as a teacher. This is our good decision. Okay, the candidate I am selecting is a best candidate for a teacher and he is not selected as teacher. This is our wrong decision, type 1 error. The candidate I am selecting is not a best candidate for a teacher and he has not selected as a teacher. This is our good decision. The candidate I am selecting is not a best candidate and for a teacher and he has selected as a teacher. This is our wrong decision because the candidate is not best. So here this candidate is not a good this candidate become not a good teacher. So here our decision is wrong decision. Okay. There is the conclusion based on some your sample H0 see something that is okay. Null hypothesis type 1 type 2. We will continue in next lecture. I hope all of you understood. Okay, thank you.